Hi again, or welcome if this is your first visit. I've just put together a brief introduction to a recent trip that my fur babies and I put together meticulously. However, the best plans laid are rarely successful. But it was an adventure and multiple experiences. I altered the van a bit before leaving, putting in a security screen on each window, one for the dogs so they don't jump out, and one for me so no one can jump in. Not perfect, but successful in my eyes. And a little bit of self-gratification and praise never hurt anyone. So, while not perfect, it did the job. I also repaired the vent above the fridge and the skylight above the shower. So what did we experience? Well, the floods, the Central Australian floods, a very interesting experience, aquaplaning, towing a caravan. We experienced the massive dust storms between Renmark and Mildura, but they also combined flooding and dust. But the beaches, the whole trip was a delight with the beaches and the free camping. You cannot go past free camping, recommend it. But also getting lost can be an adventure, and we did that too. But then there was the oops. Everyone has an oops. So I got out my 2 old paper maps to roughly show the road trip, even though they're drawn on previously. I've gone with the brown to sort of highlight this road trip to give you an idea. Roughly, there's sticky tape here so you can't see the brown. And I've doubled back, of course, but the original trip was down the Newell till I got to Deniliquin and I turned off, cutting through, and this is where the floods were too, so yes, that was a challenge. Went on through this way to get across the border, down this way, Murray Bridge, before I turned down to like the mouth of the Murray meeting the sea. I loved it down there. Bit around that point. Rapid Bay was that very disappointing episode, but oh well. Moved up here, but I can't remember how I went around Adelaide. I just know I did. Actually dodged Gawler too before I went up to the Parham campsite. That was great. And on up to my York adventure that was disappointing. Raced down to the tip to camp. That was disappointing. But anyway, disappointing or not, adventure's an adventure. Up around that side to have a look, up around there. I had to keep driving because of the long weekend and heaps of people and no free camping, except for near Maitland was near the graveyard, so that was quiet and free. Up around this way, and there's the snow town for all those crime buffs that remember the bodies in the barrel. So I whizzed through there, didn't have a look, got a photo of the place. Clare Valley, that's the equivalent of Barossa. I did go through Barossa, but just went through it. But Clare's another wine area before coming up and around through to the Renmark stretch back to Mildura with the big, where am I? Big dust storm. Then shooting down this way a bit for a couple more Murray camps. Sticking to the Murray River was my favourite before I turned off. Down through, no, I went actually Salt Lake, down Salt Lake, but you couldn't pull up and check out Salt Lakes. Over to Swan Hill, back around. That's where I camped and crashed my caravan, Moama near Echuca. Back up to Neliquin. Drill turned off, yep. As you can see, then I did the Barellan with Ali before back to West Byalong. And then up the Newell again, backtracking. No, I didn't quite go the Coonabarabran way. I did the turned off. Ooh, let's go back to Parks. Silly me. I didn't want to do the climb up around Coonabarabran, so I did the Yeovil, Wellington, Gulmar, Golgong, and that's where I had that truck stop night. Up Golden Highway, Cooler. That's where I joined. Back up onto going home. Yeah, that was it. I'll do more one day. So home again, back to the norm after the big plans, the big travels, the big experiences. Thank you.